Monteria Robinson.
Yes.
You are now plugged into Phocuz Radio. How you doing, Miss Robinson?
I'm doing great, and you?
I am fantastic.
Hello.
Fantastic.
Hey, Miss Rose.
Hi.
Hello.
Hi.
You are now plugged into Phocuz Radio. Ladies and gentlemen, we have Monteria Robinson on the phone. This is actually the third phone call, and we gotta keep keep this case in front of people's face,
Yes.
Ms. Robinson. So that's why I had you call again, just to refresh DC of the justice that you are fighting for your son Jamaria Robinson, who was gunned down by Atlanta U.S. Marshals, East Point, Georgia.
Good evening, everyone, and thanks for
Hello.
having me again, Phocuz Radio. It's an honor to be on your show. I'm very humble. Thanks for having me. Just a brief scenario of what happened to my story for those that's just tuning in. My name is Monteria Robinson. I am the mother of Jamaria Robinson. Jamaria Robinson was a former student athlete at Clark Atlanta University. At the time of his death, he was currently attending Tuskegee University.
Wow.
He was actually a biology major, and he was actually also in his final semester at Tuskegee University. So he would have been finishing up his, with his undergraduate degree. But on August the 5th, right before he was supposed to go back to football camp the following week, he was actually executed on August the 5th, 2016. Jamaria Robinson was shot a total of 76 times. 76 bullets entered his body. So a lot of people just cannot believe that he was shot 76 times.
Mm-hmm.
Yes, he was actually shot 76 times. And it's just been a lot on just me and my family, and I have to be here. I have to, be his voice because Jamarian is not here to tell his story, and to just be open and upfront. My son, he did suffer, with mental health disease. He was diagnosed with paranoia schizophrenia in December of 2015. But my son was quiet. He didn't bother anybody. He kind of stayed to himself. Every day he would say, "Hey, Mama, it's 7:30. Steve Harvey show is getting ready to come home." Jamarian does come from a, fourth-generation military, college-educated family. Jamarian was the oldest of 8 grandchildren. We called Jamarian Daddy Daycare because he always kept his younger cousins and his nephew. So because, we would, as a family, me and my sisters would always have something going on. We'd be like, "Hey, we'll just get Jamarian to do it." And he would always be more than happy to keep his younger cousins. But my son, like I said, he was killed. He was actually executed. I call it the 2016 Emmett Till. Have you all, that's a question that I have for you all. Have you all ever heard of anyone being shot 50 times or even 60 times?
No.
Not at all.
Never in my life.
The thing, Monteria, I just spoke on this before you had came on, and just enlightening some of the listeners and the new people that we have. And I have told people this story, and it is unbelievable.
Yeah.
When we tell them that. We actually was speaking to Prince George's County school teacher at Daryl Hurston event, and we had told him the story.
Right.
And he had said there's nothing else that they could have done.
Exactly, yeah.
76 times, and people cannot believe it. Ms. Robinson, and it's real. It's real. This has happened.
But a lot of people don't, think about it. I wouldn't have never known, he was shot that many times. Just after everything happened, I contacted my own people. I got an attorney, I got an investigator, and that's when we found out, all the facts. He was shot 76 times.
Good God Almighty.
After that, they handcuffed him and drug him down a flight of stairs and dropped his body into his girlfriend's living room
floor.
apartment. And to go back a little bit, when they shot him 76 times, why did they feel the need
to drag
move
him.
his body.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And then they also threw flashbang grenades that landed on top of his body.
What?
But that was just their way of covering up what they had just done. I would have never known none of this if I wouldn't have been smart enough, because the thing is, they portrayed it in the media. You know, they give their own false narrative of that my son had a shootout with police. And I was like, no, come with a better narrative than that, because if you all would came and said, oh, we stopped him for speeding on his motorcycle, I said, okay, that's Jamarian Robinson.
Right,
You know what I'm saying?
exactly.
But no, having a shootout with police, that's not who my son is.
Exactly.
My son is obedient. He's mannerable. He's a very loving, caring person. He's very smart. He's very intelligent. And one thing about my son, he knew his rights. Like, you know, his first year in college, I remember that was the class he took. And, you know, whenever he was stopped by the police or anything for speeding or whatever, you know, they always ask you, can we search your vehicle? My son would say no, because he knew, based on his amendment rights, that he had to give them permission to search his vehicle.
Exactly.
And so, with that being said, when they put out the false narrative that it was a shootout with police, I was like, me and my family automatically went, no, that's not Jamarian. That's not who he is. So the investigator went in and found the bullets that were enlarged in the floor, and, you know, which determined that someone stood over him and shot into his body 74, 75, 76 bullets. Those were like the 3 bullets that you hear really in the end.
Yeah, you can hear that in the you can hear that in the end of that video.
Right, you can hear
You
that.
can hear that.
You hear that.
Yes.
And then, you know,
Yes, you
another
can.
thing. Another thing that disturbs me, you have the GBI, which is the Georgia Bureau, I guess, investigation or institution or whatever it stands for. They still trying to go with the false narrative of that it was a shootout. But my son was shot 6 times in the palm of his right hand,
yes.
and 5 times in the palm of his left hand. So don't come and try.
When was he shooting?
Right,
To get shot like that in his
exactly.
palms, when was he shooting?
To get shot like that in the palm of his hand. So that shows, for them to be able to hit him that many times, that shows that he didn't have anything in his hand.
Correct. And that's what my forensic, he got back up and started shooting at us, because we're not ignorant people.
No.
Right.
None of us are slow. You know, none of us, you know, are, you know, have issues where we can't relate or understand what's going on. You can't tell me, and when all this is said and done, for all of those who signed off on it, I want their job.
Right, yes.
They need to be fired for putting out these false narratives on our kids. And it's not just my kid, my son, that has been killed here in Atlanta and that's been swept under the rug, or they hire these local attorneys, and what they do, they let their statutes run out, and then the cases don't go anywhere. Because my son is not the only killing here in Atlanta. You got, you know, Nicholas Thomas. You got Alexis Christian. You got Davis Benjamin. You got Arista Waiters. You got Katherine Johnson. You got
Whoa!
I could go
You got to give me these. Monteria, I didn't mean to cut you off, but why this is on my mind, we don't have enough time. I can write all this stuff down. Please inbox me these names. God, wow.
Definitely.
Please inbox me these names.
I could probably got about a good
20 names.
Wow.
Yes.
To you. Yes.
Wow.
Yes,
About
indeed.
20 names. Because that's, you know, and let them tell it, you know, these attorneys, the local attorneys, they don't know how to get national coverage. My son's story should have been made national coverage, but what I had to do is get a real attorney. So I did hire a real attorney in September of 2016, because nothing, when I say zero, absolutely nothing had been done on my son's case. And the only reason something had been done as far as the investigator and the ballistic person, because we had to pay them up front out of pocket. So that's the reason why things were done, and from the facts that we did get. But as far as anything else, we had a bunch of really, I say, smear campaigning, you know, to keep it local, keep it hush-hush. We don't want to piss anyone off. But now everyone should be pissed off, because January the 10th of this year, we did have a federal civil suit where my new attorney, Andrew Strauss, he's out of Chicago, and he specialized in these type of cases.
This is the guy on the conference calls, right?
I don't mean to cut you off, Monteria. Can you have Leonard? Can you call him three-way and y'all can be on at the same time?
I think I can do that. Let's see, because I am on my speakerphone. So let me.
You said Andrew. How do you spell his last name?
It's Stroth.
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 And Leonard, that's your other.
Well, no, Leonard Jones is one of the activists that's on the conference call.
I like that guy. I want to get him on.
He's really smart. He's trying to call in, but is there another number? Let me see.
We have you on this line.
On the main line. Okay. So let me do this. Let me come off. I can call him on three-way for you guys.
Okay.
Heard it first, y'all. Right here on Phocuz Radio. We have Monteria Robinson flying in all the way from ATL, and she's bringing justice to her son, Jamaria Robinson. Hashtag Justice for Jam. Also, Justice for Jam on IG. Monteria Robinson on Facebook. So get with it or get rolled over, man. Wow. Still fighting for justice. This is what we do on Phocuz Radio, real life, as we say here in the city. 76 times this young man was shot and did not have a weapon. And it's been proven a million times over that Jamarian did not have a weapon at all.
Exactly.
All of the information that the Atlanta police concluded from the week earlier.
She actually hired Dr. Michael Biden. He's the world renowned pathologist who have worked on the bodies of Marilyn Monroe, John F. Kennedy, all of the big stars, to overlook his case.
Wow. Wow.
Yes.
My question for Monteria when she comes back on the phone, did she not try to go through the American Civil Liberties Union? Because this sounds like something that they would jump all over.
It's different laws down there in Atlanta.
Like ACLU is nationwide.
Yeah.
I know that.
Yeah, just with the way that the people deal with things.
Well, I know Georgia is one of those folks who are operating on the state constitution from the 1800s. So I know that.
Yeah, they way back in the 1800s.
Yes.
Yeah.
And they haven't changed their constitution.
And haven't changed it at all.
We are now tuned in, y'all, to Phocuz Radio. Monteria Robinson.
All right.
Okay. We got Leonard on the phone?
Yes, I can hear you all.
Leonard, my man. You are now plugged into Phocuz Radio. I told my manager the other night when I got off that conference call, I said, we got to get Leonard on. I couldn't remember the last name. I kept asking Rose, what's his name? And she was like,
Jones.
She said, Leonard something. I said, that's all I need is Leonard. Yeah. I need Monteria Robinson and Leonard Nicole Lynn. And I actually thought that you would have been the lawyer for Monteria Robinson. Because that's the way you talk, Leonard. I'm gonna be honest with you, man. Like, I mean, you really bringing this whole thing together, man.
Yes.
Like, you are really shedding light on this case, man. And you serious? You're a man about your word. I already know that. And you are about pulling people together and not only fighting for Jamaria, but like those other 20 people that Monteria Robinson named, and just justice, man. Just justice in America. Yeah. 5 people. So who was Leonard Stroth? Leonard Jones. I'm sorry. Yeah. I got Andrew Strong. Leonard. Hey, Leonard, we gonna write down all these names.
Yes.
We gonna remember everything. Leonard Jones on the phone line, y'all. Phocuz Radio.
Yeah, man. It's a pleasure to be with you all, and definitely, supporting Miss Monteria Robinson for the simple fact that this is what we do. I'm a 24/7 activist, really, and I've been doing it for some time now.
Right.
I've met several families and things like that, and I'm not one of those type of cats that say, "Oh, that's terrible," and not do nothing. I can't exist like that.
Exactly.
So and I've been involved with civil rights organizations, street movements, and all different types of.
I looked you up, Mr. Leonard. I looked you up. I got the whole bio, and I was very amazed. Yes, it's amazing. It's amazing, but we have a lot of the fighters there in Atlanta.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
That's a fact.
And that's a blessing. That's a big blessing. But a very simple fact that I was able to partner with the previous generation. And, when you chop it up, when we're trying to figure out, where do we go from here? Because what we have to do make sure that the young generation understands how important it is.
Exactly.
Because the path has been made, and now we are seeing these events come up pretty much almost like little mini series or TV shows.
Mm-hmm.
We can't allow it to get in that area. So what we always have to do, we got to push the bar. We got to be at the table where the laws are being made.
Thank you.
Go to fight for our rights.
Mm-hmm.
And I enjoyed the brother. I'm glad he joined in on the call. But that is what anybody can do. You know, when folks look at the bio and all that, but, you know, even without all that education and all of this other stuff, I'm still a man. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
And I still see brothers looking just like me being brutalized.
Exactly.
Mm-hmm.
In every state in the union.
Yes, that should motivate anybody. Mm-hmm. So when Miss Robin, when I was placed in contact with Miss Robinson, as usual, you know, it's okay, you get the call and you go out. But man, when I seen that crime scene, it was horrible. Mm-hmm. And I could not believe that they would do that to a young man.
Exactly. What are these people thinking about? You know, what type of spirits do these people have? And I always speak on this letter, the good spirits and the bad spirits. Like, what makes someone, those U.S. Marshals, to even think we want to gun this young man down like this? 76. This shit is unbelievable, man.
And those were the amount of actual bullets that actually entered his body. We're not talking about all of the other gunfire and the grenades.
Mm-hmm.
Now, and what we wanted to do with Miss Robinson, as we do with everybody, and I like to break it down for people. This is the way the process works. A family may get in touch with you and say, hey, I need some help. Miss Robinson, what I love about her is, even though she's the one that has suffered this loss, she's not a helpless victim.
Right, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And she fights harder than anybody.
Mm-hmm.
And so all we can do is support her the best way we can, because if this was your child or something like that, trust me, we would want the help.
Right.
And this particular case, we have a mother who got a call one day.
Mm-hmm.
And was told that her son was killed by police.
Right.
Now, first of all, I don't even like the way they called and told her about it. We have to make sure that we understand what happened. These people barged in on this brother with little to no evidence and just let it go. This was not your Iranian police force. This was the Northern District Task Force under the direction of the U.S. Marshal's Office.
Wow.
Now, with that much planning and effort, you should have immediately been able to release information on why you were there, what crimes were being broken in, and what were the next steps. None of this happened in this case. They put up a story that they wanted the people to see. You know how they put the stories up about us when something happens.
Yeah.
They try to demoralize us or criminalize us.
All the time.
No, nobody is a criminal until proven by law.
Right, exactly.
And this brother is not allowed to tell his side of the story. And so this is why we get involved. This is why we're going to support Ms. Robinson and her objectives that she tasked us with, where one is to get the information out about her son. Two, we want to fight to make sure that these officers are incarcerated for what they have done, and also sit down and let the people know, the legislators and all those people that make these laws, somebody has to be accountable, and we need to change how they're able to do whatever they want to do, cover it up, and hope it all goes away.
Now, Mr. Jones, I'm just curious, has the state of Georgia changed its constitution since the 1800s?
Well, not per se to say what you would notice. There are some things that have changed. There are some criminal justice reform efforts. However, there has been very little change in the culture of policing, probably.
Okay.
It's the culture of policing that's the problem.
Okay, gotcha.
And they do not operate under this principle of preserving life. And that's what needs to be addressed when it comes to when we get down the road to changing these rules. Our prior military, I don't know if we got any veterans or what have you, But there are ways to take people down, do all sorts of things before using lethal force.
Exactly.
Yes.
Exactly. That's what I told Monteria. That's right.
Everybody's innocent. So let's get to the court. You know what I'm saying?
Exactly.
Let's get these brothers in here to tell their side of the story.
Exactly. Absolutely.
Okay, because I look at how black men especially have been just murdered over the past couple of years. And then I look at the folks who are of other persuasions who get shot in the leg or shot in the arm and, taken to the hospital. And I look at Dylan Roth, who wasn't even shot at. It's I think that's a nationwide culture. Would you agree?
Yes, I do agree. But I also want to just let people know that it's possible to change it, but everybody has to be involved. Like this particular issue that we're at the point now with Monteria Robinson is that we have to put pressure on the district attorney here, Fulton County, in the district that this occurred. That district attorney's responsibility is to decide whether or not to press charges against the individuals that were involved.
Exactly. Now, could we, Mr. Jones, even though we're in Maryland, could we call our elected representatives, call this to their attention, and perhaps put pressure on? Exactly. See, folks, listen up.
I would encourage you to call not only your representative,
but call Georgia.
Call Georgia, Fulton County District Attorney's Office. Let them know where you're from. So
say that name one more time for me, Leonard.
Where he has gone.
Say that name one more time for me.
Cook County, you said?
Leonard, it's Fulton County.
Oh, Fulton County.
Yes, this is Fulton County. It is Atlanta. It's right in the center of Atlanta, but the county encompasses, a little bit larger space. Because, we have that county city district type thing. So, like, for instance, some places may have, I think Louisiana's the only one that still has Atlanta area.
Okay. Now, Fulton County DA's office, do you happen 612 49 81.
And they can also tweet, for people who does Twitter, it's at Fulton County DA.
At Fulton County DA.
You hear that?
At
Fulton. And also, if you go to that government webpage, you can just click and start sending him email messages. And what the goal of that is, if everybody gets involved, and what we do a lot as a tactic here, is we'll shut the lines down. I mean, so they can't get they regular.
We are the boss of the government. I don't care.
And we pay their salaries.
And we pay their salaries. And this is what I think that they've taken so much out of the schools that people have lost sight of that, or they just don't know. I know Rose and I have been doing our best to educate folks, but this is a democracy is the only place where we're both the consumer and the boss. So we have to embrace that and start working it to our advantage.
And I'm so glad you said that, because that's what we do on a regular basis. We do order. And what I'm pushing, at the forefront is education. Brothers and people in the community have forgotten that they are stakeholders.
Exactly.
And I think we have desire, blah, blah, blah.
Right.
Some cats will say, well, them folks don't care nothing about us and this, that, and the other. I was like, it matters. I bet you have an issue linked to what these people are supposed to be doing. First thing I threw out at them, how many of you got child support? All the hands almost went up.
See, people don't.
Somebody in your district, that cares about that situation.
Again, every single solitary thing that we do in this country is impacted by the government, and that goes down to the aspirin bottle that you buy from CVS. Or it does. And this is what I think that we're missing. And I think this is what too many of our legislators, folks who are running for public office, don't take the time to call together forums to educate folks.
Right. And this is why I love working with Ms. Robinson, is for the very simple fact is not only this tragedy happened to her, but she has bonded with other mothers whose kids were victims.
Yes, she
and they're
has.
sharing what it is you need to do to get justice.
Exactly.
And they're having conversation, and they're talking about it. And we have organizations that come in on our call on Thursday night as we're planning, and everybody is donating resources and trying to get the word out about Jamarian Robinson, because this is not really a big race issue, believe it or not.
Right.
It's more so a civil rights issue.
Yes.
It's a culture issue.
I know when I posted
Everybody
it.
needs to be aware.
Yeah, when I posted it on my page, I mean, even when I got the video, I got that video in my inbox. And the first time I looked at it, it made me sick to my stomach. And it made me immediately reach out to Monteria.